Correct.
Good morning. Today is Thursday, March the 5th, 2026. And we are we're just a little bit away here. We're about but a little over 24 hours away from the official trade deadline here, and and we're going to do a trade deadline. We're going to recap all the trades so far that have gone down. Ryan Payton is here. Follow Ryan at Ryan M. Payton on X and check it out. Ryan, thank you so much for taking some time to join us today.
Pleasure. It's been a while. We spoke a little bit before we came on, so it's been too long between visits, but yeah, looking forward to chatting with you. Good to see you as always.
Absolutely. Same here. Now, so far, let's sort of kind of recap. What did you think of a couple of the big trades that so far have gone down? One of them is the Mackenzie Weegar piece. What stood out about that one?
Yeah, so that one is again, we're coming up to the deadline. Well, we're a little bit of ways away. Not really actually. So we've got till Friday at 3 p.m. So you kind of had some things going on with that. Number one, when you're in a situation like Calgary, and Calgary's been in this situation all year, you knew that months before the deadline hit. You knew the team is not good, and you know they're not going anywhere but the offseason. So that's it. So then you have to think to yourself, and this is an internal discussion that all these teams have to have that are way on the outside looking in. Who then do we move? Who can we move for the sake of going forward, looking at draft picks, trying to get some assets, and looking toward 26, 27, 27, 28, etc., in the years beyond that. And then you have Utah, the team that they made the deal with Mackenzie for Mackenzie Weegar with. The Utah Mammoth are having a great season. I love what they're doing. The fact that they have stability, and for the first time, and I talk about this all the time, that Utah has stability as a franchise. It's no longer the Coyotes. Where are we going to play? Where are we going to go? Where are we going to move to? No, you have a owner in Ryan Smith and his wife who know exactly what they're doing. You have a team that is happy and comfortable, and you've got a fan base that now players want to go to and be a part of, and fans will embrace them. I think it's a great deal. Now, the thing is, Utah gave up. What did they give up? They gave up two players, future considerations, and then three picks, all in the second round in 2026. So you never know, Ali, as you know, what these picks will be, especially when you get past the first round. Even I'd say 3/4 of the way into that first round, you know who the picks are probably going to be and what they're going to end up being like in the first 10, 15, 20, whatever that is. But when you get to round two and beyond, you really don't know. You're hoping Calgary is that they're going to turn into something pretty good. At least maybe one, two of them can stay with the team for an extended amount of time and make the team and whoever that will be. But you get Olimata coming back. Don't mind him. Been up there in age, been around the league a little bit of time. That's fine. And Jonathan Castagna as well. He's back too. But I love this for Utah. To me, it's like, okay, we get Mackenzie Weegar, good player. He's a defenseman. We need that. And what do all these teams look for? They look for bottom six depth and they look for defensemen. That's who they look for at deadlines. If you're after a goalie, which 9 times out of 10 you're not, you do it before, then you're looking at the bottom six on the forward side of things and you're looking at defensemen. So good on both, especially because of where the teams are at right now in the respective standings.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of that. It was sort of interesting, and then of course we got the Blackhawks kind of getting. We had the Andrew Megapane piece as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, you got him, Mangiapane, then you have a conditional first round pick in 27, and you have future considerations. They were involved in the deal with Edmonton getting Colton Duck, a center, and then Jason Dickinson, a center. And this goes back to what I just said to you about
Yeah.
bottom six. Edmonton is a prime example of a team led by two players. With all due respect to everybody else, you're led by 97, you're led by 29 in McDavid and Draisaitl. By the way, I saw the stat before I came on with you, and I think
Hmm.
I have this correct. Maybe I'll just double check as we're going.
Yeah, no problem.
Connor McDavid is 10 points away from passing Patrick Marleau on the all-time points list, and Marleau played over 1,000 games to get to this point. So he's going to do it in 1,000 games less than Patrick Marleau. Anyway, side story. But this to me is Edmonton saying, okay, we need now to find ways to help our group and to find ways to get depth. Because yes, Edmonton's been to the final the last two seasons. That's great, but you didn't win. You know, you came as close as any team could come. And McDavid and Leon and everybody, Hyman and Bouchard and Nurse on the, you did everything you could. But those two guys cannot keep carrying the team as good as they are. So I like this for Edmonton. I do. In Chicago, you know what? I don't mind it. They're in this kind of they're trending up. They're not, you know, accelerating like say a Detroit or a Montreal, or an Anaheim or a San Jose, but they're moving in that direction. So I do like it for Chicago's case. But this to me is Edmonton saying, okay, we need to continue. We need to surround McDavid and Leon with some guys, and they hope they did that with that deal.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And now, a team that you and I are close to are the Leafs.
Not anymore. No, I've severed ties. I've severed. No, I haven't.
Now, they certainly have had a not so they haven't had a really good year, and it looks like Scott. It looks like they're that Lawton and OEL and
Yeah.
are going to be packaged out, and it looks like they're going to be packaged. And there's a third name as well. I don't know why he escapes
Bob,
me.
Bobby
Bobby McMahon.
Bobby McMahon. Yeah.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
What do you think there?
I don't even know how to describe the season. Actually, I do know how to describe the season. They have, and I'll keep it simple. They have no heart. They have no heart. There's no desire. So Brad Treliving can at some point today and tomorrow go out and find players that have heart and that want to play and that want to play the game. Then you go out and you find those players that want to play the game. Because from the get-go, and I'm going to tell you a story, and I don't think anyone else may have seen this or may have felt this, but I did. And I look back to opening night, first home game this season in Toronto. If you go back and you have a listen, you hear the audio, have a watch, whatever it is, when the players are introduced on the ice, I've never seen a different sense of body language in my years watching Toronto on opening night as I saw that night. Nobody, nobody, in my view, what I saw that night and the sense I felt wanted to be on that ice. And that was before game one at home, game one of the season inside Scotiabank Arena. And that has now gone 60 plus games, whatever they're in. This team is a disaster. And again, they just have no heart. If you're going to lose, which they're losing a lot, if you're going to lose, then put in the effort. Put in a 60-minute effort. Don't put in 5 minutes. Don't put in 10 minutes. Put in 60. And at least you can say to yourself, we gave it 110%. Too bad we fell on the short side of the stick, but we did what we could. They haven't done that once this season. So you mentioned McMahon. He was a healthy scratch last night against the Devils. Again, Toronto lost that game. OEL, healthy scratch. Scott Lawton, healthy scratch. I've been hearing too, Troy Stecher. Calls have been coming in about Troy Stecher. Calls are coming in, I think, Ali, about from 31 other teams
Yeah.
about everybody on the team. I really do. Because this is the first time in a very, very, very long time that Toronto is now in the deadline as sellers, not buyers. And this is uncharted territory.
Yeah.
They don't know what to do. They don't understand how to win now because they're not in a playoff spot. They haven't locked up pretty much a playoff spot, and they're not in contention, and they're not a good team. So they don't know what to do. And Brad Treliving, I've been told, I've been kind of hinted that if it's 50-50, you're leaning a little more to the upper side of 55-60, that potentially Brad and Berube will not be around next season. And that's going to be too bad. I don't put a lot of point my finger with Berube, but I point a lot to Brad Treliving. He has made disastrous, terrible decisions. So we'll see. The deadline's coming up at 3 o'clock on Friday, and I do assume that there's going to be some movement by the Toronto Maple Leafs here.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. See, I mean, you have Keith Pelly at the helm there, and he's a guy who's been around for like in different sort of situations. He's been I mean, I would sort of think right now, although he's still pretty new to the job, I would think right now he's just looking at, he's just assessing things and where to go.
And I 100% agree with you. And I think that was what he started to do when he took on this position. When Brendan Shanahan was let go, and that whole Shannon plan thing didn't work either. I mean, they came close, but again, if you don't win that cup, it doesn't work. Let's be honest. That's the harsh reality of the whole thing. But when Pelly came in, I remember that first press conference. It was essentially, okay, we got it. We have to have new DNA. We have to have new genes. We have to figure things out. We have to do things a bit differently. I'm going to observe and sit back and have a look. So I firmly believe that he's been doing this. Do I think any finger pointing needs to be pointed to him? I don't know. I don't know. If he was on the job, say 2, 3, 4 years in, and the Leafs were in this situation, then I think yes. But I don't think anything should be pointed toward him. It is in the GM spot, and it filters down to the head coach, then it filters into the players. But Keith Pelly, whatever happens at the end of the 82nd game, whoever is still on this team, he needs to take a very, very hard look at the culture of this team from top to bottom, including himself, where he wants the team to go, what direction he wants the team now to go in, and quite frankly, Ali, who wants to be there? Who gives a damn to be on that team? Who wants to play in Toronto? And if you don't want to play in Toronto, if you don't see yourself playing in Toronto, and I'm talking about you, Austin Matthews, I'm talking about you, William Nylander, nobody to me should not be held accountable. If you don't want to be here past your contract, I believe Matthews has 2 more years left, then you need to have that discussion, and you need to get out. You need to get out.
And it's very clear that both him and Nylander no longer want to be here now.
It's pretty clear, right? I mean, it's to me the play and the lack of intensity is as indicative as them telling the fans, look, we're not quite happy here anymore. We want to leave. So they'll never say that. They'll never say that. You know, I saw something last night too in the game against the Devils. I think it was in the second intermission. Sometimes they do like an in-locker room shot quickly and say, oh, coming up next third period, we'll be back to New Jersey for the third between Toronto and the Devils. And there was a shot of Austin Matthews. You know, the guys have their shirts off, right? Have the pants on and skates on. Yeah. But his shirt was off in between periods. And had this huge tape job on just below his right shoulder, kind of above the bicep in that shoulder area. And it looked pretty heavy. I know that these guys get taped up. I understand, and they're all like this. But how many times have we heard about these ghost injuries with Matthews? What is it? What is it he's actually dealing with? Upper body, lower body, shoulder, hand, wrist, back, legs, core, hip, what is it? And to me, that was indicative of, okay, the shot's not been there all season. I mean, it's come in spurts, but it's not been consistent. He's not nearly been the player that he's been for years before. His numbers say that. He's hurt. So whatever there is going on with you, and if there's something significant as well that you need to deal with to make sure that you're 100%, get surgery. Go and get it done. Don't keep pushing things off. You have a commitment to the team, whatever team you play for, to be as healthy as you can. So there's a lot happening right now with that. And, you know, it's really too bad, Ellie. I know you agree with me. It's really sad to see this.
It is.
In Toronto. It is.
Yeah. No, you know, and you know, another thing I was thinking too, Ryan, is that, you know what, this is, I wish the team would have done better, especially, and you and I have talked about, I don't remember last time we did a show, or we were talking about the fact that, about Joe Bowen, but he hanging it up after this year. And
Yeah.
and this honestly, in my mind, is not a good way for to send him off.
No, it stinks. Yeah, it's. I was thinking that, and I've been seeing him kind of different snippets throughout the year on social and some of his best calls, and I remember pretty much all of them. And then I saw his son doing a thing with him as well. And so here's Joe, and there's Jim Ralph. What? There's 61 games in, I think, 62. So he has 20 games essentially left to go in his career as it comes to the Maple Leafs. I mean, he's not going to do this again. He could do it again with another team, but that's just not going to happen because he wouldn't do that. But it's really really too bad. I remember there was this one call when the Leafs forced a game 7 in Boston, and they had lost before and a few years, but whatever it is, and I think it was Nylander who scored on a breakaway. And Joe Bowen said, "We're going back to Boston, baby, and this time we're going to finish the job." And I thought, man, you know what? I want you to win a cup. I want you to get you out of anybody within that organization deserves a Stanley Cup. It's not going to happen. And it's too bad. So, yeah, I'm with you. Joe Bowen, one of the best of all time. And for him to be seeing this as well, it's unfortunate. It really is. Two of the best in the business, those two, Ali.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, certainly. Yeah, I mean, his son is. Yeah, you're right. His son has done quite a bit as well. I mean, he was all. He also did some of the World Juniors this Christmas time too.
Yeah, it's kind of like Dan Schulman and Ben. I think Ben's
Yes.
his name. In baseball, it's like they're. I remember listening to one of the Jays games last year, and I had to stop for a second and think, hold on. I thought Dan is doing some ESPN work in the U.S. or something for college basketball, and I thought, oh wow, that's Ben. Okay, I can see how they're related. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, Joe's son, I forget his name, but Joe's son has been doing
David.
some yeah, Dave, that's right, David Bones. So I've been seeing him and what he's been doing. But yeah, it's too bad. Joe Bowen is a legend, and for him to kind of see this and not see the heart. And think about it like this too. Here's
Hmm.
somebody who has called however many games he's called, thousands of games. And he said to bring it every night. Do you think he has wanted to every night? No, it's not easy. I've done play by play before, not at that level, but it's hard. And when you don't see the effort and the heart on the ice, and you're trying to give as much as you can still in this your last season as one of the best jobs in all of sports, being the play-by-play voice of one of the original 6 franchises in Toronto, and you see that effort, I'm not saying the Leafs have to play better for Joe Bowen. That's not what I'm saying.
No.
But it must be hard for him, especially too, to watch that.
Yeah, and I mean, and yeah, I mean, you know what? And see, there are so many. You know what? There are so many good broadcasters around the league, um, which I enjoy. Sometimes when the Leafs have the night off, I like to check in. I like to listen. I like to keep up. I like to try and keep up with how everybody's doing. And it's like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like to sometimes listen to some of the other broadcasters, and I think there's a lot of good ones around the league. The Golden Knights have a good audio broadcast.
yeah,
The
yeah. There,
Sabers
there's
do.
yeah, yeah, and you have 32. You have a ton of media people involved in the 32 teams, whether it's
Yeah.
radio, whether it's TV reporting, sideline reporting, beat reporting with that team, and then play by play. And of all the 32, they all bring a unique gift. And I know that I've been doing the hot stove. I mean, I've been at XM forever, but Sirius XM forever, but I've been doing the hot stove. This is our 7th season doing it. And anyone that we have on, whether it's the Avalanche, whether it's the Montreal Canadiens, Ottawa, Vegas, Gary Lawless comes on quite a bit, and he does a lot of work for them too. It's just
He's not
incredible
Gary
to
Lawler. He's not on social though.
Gary's on social. Yeah, Gary's on social. Yeah, go to at Vegas Insider. I think it's at Vegas Insider.
Okay.
So if you go on that, he's a Winnipeg boy as well. He's a Winnipeg
Ah,
boy. So yeah, he was born in Winnipeg, I believe, and I think he did some work too in Winnipeg. But when he comes on, there's not a day that goes by, the show that goes by that he never says to me, us. He's like, you know what? No, I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful that I have this opportunity, and I love I love what I'm doing. So you're right. It's a really, really neat sport, and they've got a lot of really neat people doing it.
You know what, for me, I enjoy I really like the NHL and MLB. For me, it's like, that is an, it's like it's an escape for me, like for like a few hours or whatever. It's an escape.
I'm really glad you mentioned that because I was talking about this the other day. We all know what's going on over in Iran and on the other
Yes.
side of
Oh
the
yeah.
world,
Yeah. And I, of course, as
yeah,
you know, I do follow the news and politics too.
yeah, no, absolutely, no, and you're on top of all that stuff, and certainly our thoughts and prayers to everybody involved
Yeah.
from all the country. It's just awful. But I was thinking the other day, and I was talking about this to somebody, and I said, sports has always been that reprieve, has always been that 2 3 hours, as you said. Take a step back, immerse yourself in what you're watching, immerse yourself in what you're listening to, and don't think about anything else. Just put life aside. To me, as great as that is now, it's not as easy because politics has entered the sports world and
It
it's been here for a
has.
while.
That's
Yeah,
Yep.
it's been here for a while and it's becoming pretty prevalent. It really is. And there's a lot of things going on that it's hard sometimes when there's a specific issue that's happening and catching people's attention around the world. It's hard to watch a broadcast when you don't have somebody say this or you don't have this or you don't have that. I'm not saying it's wrong. Everyone's allowed to say what they want, but I miss the days, the complete days where you can just take 3 hours, as you said, 2 hours, and just kind of immerse yourself in sports.
Yeah. I mean, and plus with things like, see, the other thing is too, like, see, because see, with things like X and stuff like that, where you're getting constant, where you're always constant, you have to be on top of what's going on.
Yeah.
It makes an escape very it makes an escape almost impossible because like
Yeah.
that. Because sometimes what
Completely.
I'll be
Yeah.
doing is I'll be listening to the game on my iPad, which is sitting right here,
Hmm.
and then I'll be taking a look on to see on my phone what I missed.
Right.
So it's like you're not really, it's like,
No. No. So you're trying to get away from it, but you're not. And I do the same thing. I do the same thing. And you know what? It's really good that we're doing this because I was also thinking about this the other day. I'm really trying to make it a point now to take phone or whatever social media device or whatever device that I can find social media on. If I'm watching something, baseball, whatever it is, listening doesn't matter. I listen to sports in the car all the time. I need to just put it down. I really do. If something is really significant and important, like family or whatever it is, I'll get a phone call probably more than likely. But you're right. It's hard, man. It's hard because we've all become accustomed to just we need to know something yesterday. We need to know something that happened before it even happened.
that's it, right? That's certainly it, right? And then sometimes like I'll be, sometimes like before bed I'll just be lying down and I'll have the phone with me and I'll just, it's like, what was like, wait a minute, it's like,
Yeah. Yeah. And then, I also think about too, and I'm guilty of this, when, say there's a game that starts at 7 o'clock at night and I'm listening, watching whatever it is, and say it's hockey done at 9:30 if it doesn't go to OT. And then I'm like, okay, yeah, that's good. I immerse myself in that, and then I pick up the phone and I go through everything I missed, and then I just keep going for an hour. Like, why am I going through all this
I
stuff?
know,
All
yep.
this stuff I understand for work and different things, but I'm not going to do anything about me finding anything about that until tomorrow. So let's just put it away. But yeah, it's sports will be sports, man, as you know, and you and I both love it. We absolutely love it. It's just it's too bad there's so many other things that have kind of are getting in there with everybody.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, like, I mean, but I think too, like, even like, we talk about like there's been a lot of this stuff going on, and then there's also like, like even sports podcasts and YouTube has become a big thing for that sort of thing too.
No, it's massive. YouTube is just it's incredible. And I was doing something maybe a month or so ago, and I first time I saw, not that I'm not into social media, but I figured, well, if I don't
I
know
think we
this stuff,
have
if
to
I
be
didn't know
right.
it, you have to be, and that's the thing. So I saw the word hook, like hooks, and I thought, what the heck's a hook? I know the short clips, I know the quick 15-second whatever to get people's attention, but a hook makes sense. You hook somebody in.
Yep.
And so these hooks are kind of like those short things. I'm like, oh, I didn't know you had to do all that stuff. But then if you go to YouTube, you see so many different quick hooks and 10, 15 seconds, this. But yeah, there's so many things on. I mean, I've done a bunch of stuff on, YouTube on my channel and things like that. And it's nice just to have not an avenue for people to listen to, but you can have an avenue to watch as well, right? So it's crazy. This social media world is nuts, Sally. You know that too.
It is, but I think, but it's also, but it is nuts, but it's also created more opportunities, right?
100% it has. And you knew that this was going to happen. You knew this was going to evolve. I didn't think it would evolve this quickly. I knew it would evolve and it would take some time, but it's evolved. Um, it's evolved quite quickly in the last little bit. I mean, there's also AI, right? There's a whole
Oh
bunch of
yeah,
AI
yep.
stuff that's just been out of control, and that goes into sports also. So Um, yeah, you got it. I try to keep up with it. I really do. But a lot of times I feel myself, I can't. But then I think, well, do I really want to? No. But then part of me is like, yeah, you have to. It's this constant circle. I never sleep.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, it also like, I mean, the NHL, like, see, like, I mean, they and even like the whole video replay stuff that's been introduced.
That is something, and I've always been a believer in getting the call correct. And the more eyes, the better. A lot of times you watch and you see things that the ref didn't see at the time. And for example, when it comes to hockey, it's the fastest game in the world. And a lot of times refs are going to miss some things, right? So then the more eyes, the better. But you have all the replay. Now you've got that challenge, the challenge thing in baseball, right? With the automatic um, balls and strikes call. So it's unbelievable. I was thinking like maybe 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the NHL and baseball going to be 10 years from now when it comes to challenges and getting things right and video replay and coaches' challenges and the strike ball count in calls in baseball? Now I'm thinking, where's it going to be 10 years from now, right? So if it's gone this far in 10, who knows where it's going to be another 10?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Do you want to just tell me what you think of? Tell us what you think of some of the other trades that have gone down real fast before we wrap it up.
Yeah, so I mean, I look at the one for Dallas, and that is something that Dallas is going to be there. Dallas and Colorado and Minnesota in that division. The three of them, it's a three trick pony, if you will. That division's crazy, and the unfortunate part of this, and maybe we can talk about this another time, but the whole seeding is in hockey that the 2 and 3 seed, one of those two, the second or third seed that will play each other, will be out in the first round, and that's unfortunate. But Dallas getting Tyler Myers, I think it's great. Vancouver is just completely sell mode. They've been terrible from the get-go. Biggest mistake they made, and again, we can talk about this next time I'm on because we'd love to come on with you again, is to me they got rid of the wrong player in JT Miller and not Elias Pettersson. I think it should have been the other way around, but hindsight's 2020. Can't go back in time. So I like that move by Dallas. I know that because of Tyler Seguin and the injury, that they have more space now to work with when it comes to money. So I like that one. Nashville is I'm not going to say in a complete get out mode kind of thing, but I actually wrote these down today because I want to make sure I have them right. So Michael McCarron gone, Cole Smith gone, Nick Blankenberg gone, and who knows who else is going to be gone. But the Preds, again, they're trying to build and stockpile as well for next season. I know for a fact Steven Stamkos has never had a discussion with Barry Zito in Nashville saying, yes, I will move my no move clause. I know that, and he's not going to. He's happy there, even though he may not seem it because he's not winning like Tampa. But then again, you never know. If there's some offer, I've always thought he's going to end up in Tampa. He's going to end up back in Tampa. So I think what we're going to see is we're going to see some more trades, obviously, that are going to come down by the time the 3 p.m. happens. St. Louis is the big one, right? Robert Thomas, where is he going to go? Jordan Bennington, is he going to go somewhere as well, at least for being a rental and maybe go to a different team in the offseason? Who knows? So hasn't been a ton, but it's going to pick up. And we have, 27, 28 hours left or something like that till the deadline, at least right now when I'm talking to you.
Oh, there we go. And we'll be back. Let's do it. Let's do a how about we we had certainly let's do an NHL playoff preview show certainly and a
Let's do
season
it.
preview show in the fall. Let's do it.
Absolutely. Hey, let me just throw the stat at you too, and this is one you can think about, and this is astonishing to me.
Okay.
Yeah, the four divisions in hockey. The Atlantic is different because you don't have Florida, Tampa, and Toronto 1, 2, 3, and the Metro's kind of the same. Pittsburgh's in there, but the Carolinas there as well, and other clubs, and then you have the Central, which is dynamite based on Colorado, Minnesota, and the Dallas Stars. The Pacific Division, food for thought here, Ali, as we go.
Mm-hmm.
1 through 8, the teams right now occupying 1 through 8 playoff spots in the Eastern Conference. No team in the Pacific would be in an Eastern Conference playoff spot right now. Boston has 73 points. They're the second wild card in the East. Top team in the Pacific, Vegas, with 72 points. So that's how weak the Pacific Division is. That's what I'm saying in all this. So whoever comes out of that Pacific right now, at least for the time being, you're going nowhere based on the other division that you have in the West. But pretty crazy, the difference right now in the West and East.
There we go. And this is yeah. And hey, you know what? I do you know what? I do appreciate you taking some time this morning here, and I look forward to this to the playoff preview show.
Yeah, looking forward to it, Ali. Thanks. Always enjoy coming on with you. Keep up the great work too.
Thank you so much. You as well. And we will be back. Real soon.